Ibn Abbas reported that the Prophet said, "Cursed is the one who does the action of the people of Lot." The Prophet is reported to have said, "If you find anyone doing as Lot's people did, kill the one who does it, and the one to whom it is done."
Quick question. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be gay and Muslim? Well, so have I, dear viewer. Let us look into it. Now, this article was from 2016, 9 years ago. And I still think that it was written at a time when people said, yes, of course you can be gay and Muslim. In fact, in 2017, if I'm not mistaken, Britain had its first gay Muslim wedding, which was highly condemned by the Pakistani community in the UK. So, yes, if I'm not mistaken, this took place during the gay nightclub shooting in Orlando. This was a very, very hot topic just before the 2016 US election, when Donald Trump promptly won in 2016, and this was on a big wave of media outrage towards homophobia because a gay nightclub was shot up. So, the Orlando shooting was a hate crime against gay people, even if once it emerged that the attacker had been a Muslim. Many people claimed that this is a terrorist attack rather than a hate crime, and in an important sense, this was also a terror attack since its aim was to spread fear in the LGBT community. And this article was written at a time when the standard name of the movement was LGBT, not LGBTQ2S plus 2S something or other. This article was written by one Russi Jaspal, professor of psychology and sexual health in De Montfort University. De Montfort University provides funding as a member of the Conversation UK to this article, which is the Conversation column. Since the massacre, there has been a lot of speculation about Islam and homosexuality, and there are fears that one man's despicable act of terrorism could fan the flames of Islamophobia, not just homophobia, and other forms of social exclusion, leading to discord and unrest in an era of elevated Islamophobia. It is difficult to define the Islamic position on homosexuality. No, it's not. Literally read the Quran. That's not difficult to decipher. As a monolithic phenomenon, simply because Islam is a very diverse faith group, with some 1.6 billion followers on 6 continents, in most Muslim countries, homosexuality is illegal. And in some countries, including Iran and Saudi Arabia, it is punishable by death. But in others, such as Jordan and Turkey, homosexuality is not considered a crime. Most Islamic scholars are in agreement that homosexuality is incompatible with Islamic theology. They tend to draw on the story of Lot in the Quran, also in the Hebrew Bible, which the Quran promptly plagiarized, as far as we can clearly see. Regardless, which recounts the destruction of the tribe of Lot, allegedly due to their engagement in homosexual acts as, quote, evidence of God's condemnation of homosexuality. Many scholars also cite the Hadith, or statements attributed to the Prophet Muhammad, or Hadith, as we know, that are condemnatory of homosexuality. Theological and legal condemnations of homosexuality can engender perceptions at a social level that homosexuality is wrong and it should not be permitted. Now, in 2009, a Gallup survey revealed negative attitudes towards homosexuality among European Muslims. In France, 35% of Muslims viewed homosexuality as morally acceptable. Just 35%. Versus 78% of the general Muslim public. In Germany, 19% of Muslims viewed it as morally acceptable versus 68% of the general Muslim public in Germany thinking it as detestable. In the UK, none of the Muslim respondents viewed homosexuality as morally acceptable versus 58% of the general public who did, of the non-Muslim public, I believe. Earlier this year, a survey commissioned by, or in 2016 when this was written, a survey commissioned by Channel 4 was conducted among a random sample of 1,081 individuals who self-identified as Muslim. The results found that 18% of the British Muslim respondents agreed that homosexuality should be legal in Britain, while the majority, 52%, disagreed. Conversely, only 5% of the general public thought homosexuality should be illegal. Furthermore, 47% of the British Muslim respondents indicated that they did not believe that it was acceptable for a gay person to become a teacher. This data suggests that there are low levels of acceptance of homosexuality in Muslim communities in the UK. That's a bit of an understatement. So, as this author says, in my research into attitudes concerning homosexuality among samples of first and second generation British Muslims of Pakistani descent, I found that attitudes tend to be largely negative. Although research into attitudes towards homosexuality in the general population points to a demographic of variables such as age, level of education as key determinants of the nature of attitudes, this has not been the case in my own work with British Muslims. Muslims of various ages, education levels, and socioeconomic backgrounds have participated in my studies and genuinely perceive homosexuality in negative terms. In substantiating these attitudes, people often draw on Holy Scripture. As one 54-year-old woman said, "It says in the Quran that it's wrong. And sorry, I am not the one who made it. It's what God revealed through the prophet. So it's the truth. That's my belief system." I apologize for my inability to roll my R's. Many interviewees draw upon Holy Scripture as the basis of their views regarding homosexuality. There appears to be a desire not to reinterpret Holy Scripture to accommodate homosexuality because of the divinity of the Quran's origin. Moreover, there is a fundamental rejection of essentialist arguments concerning the origins of sexual orientation, that people are born gay and that they do not choose to be gay. And interviewees often argued that people had chosen to be gay. And one 28-year-old man at the time of this said, quote, "God doesn't create gay people. It's a path they've chosen, and that's an incorrect path according to our faith." Indeed, previous research has shown that believing the essentialist argument regarding homosexuality is correlated with less discrimination and greater acceptance. Although British Muslims may disapprove of the concept of homosexuality, several individuals reported positive first-hand experiences of contact with LGBT people. A 45-year-old man said, "Homosexuality is wrong, but I believe I have a gay neighbor and he lives with his partner. He's a very nice guy, and both of them are. They're very respectful. We consider them friends." Some people spoke fondly of their LGBT friends, neighbors, and acquaintances, suggesting that first-hand contact may challenge homophobia, which exists in an abstract, conceptual level. It is also vital to stress that Muslim interviewees overwhelmingly rejected violence against LGBT people. As one woman put it, "Violence and hate crimes are un-Islamic. We are not supposed to kill or hurt people as Muslims. No, we can't have it both ways, so they won't be accepted in our community, but it's for God to punish, not us." That is a age-old expression. It's for the Lord to punish you, not me. This whole idea that Muslims can be accepting of gay people is, in and of itself, an oxymoron. Muslims, by their Holy Scripture, cannot accept homosexuality within their ranks. As this author goes on to say, it was difficult for British Muslim interviewees to accept homosexuality given their overwhelming evidence of its prohibition in Islam. Individuals simply had no positive theological frame of reference given the absence of LGBT affirmative voices at an institutional level in the Muslim world. This led some individuals to view endorsement of homosexuality as a violation of their religious faith and its norms. Being gay is un-Islamic, and so is encouraging it. That's my impression of some Muslim influencer on YouTube. Forget his name, but...
Join with the beast, the Dawa beast. What? Is he not boy? He's a coward. Yeah, he's a coward.
No, I think his accent is a bit hilarious.
The very enemies who are hostile towards Islam are crumbling on rooftops.
Wow, yeah.
But anyhow, put it simply, the acceptance of or endorsement of homosexuality in Islam was perceived as contravening key tenets of Islam. Gay Muslims speak out. Clearly, the stigma attached to homosexuality in Islamic communities can have profound effects of those Muslims who self-identify as gay. For almost a decade, it has been researching in the the social psychological aspects of being Muslim and gay. I have been researching the social psychological aspects of being Muslim and gay. In view of the generally negative attitudes towards homosexuality in Muslim communities, the silence that can surround discussions of sexuality, most of my Muslim gay interviewees have manifested a poor self-image and low psychological well-being. Many view their sexual orientation as wrong, and thus express a hope to change it in the future. One young gay Muslim man said, "In the mosque, we're told that Shaitan, or Satan, tries to tempt Muslims because he is evil and he makes us do evil things. I know that doing gay things is evil, but I hope I'll change my ways and I'll take the right path soon. It's all about temptation, really. Life is a big test." Those gay Muslims who conceptualize their sexuality as immoral and wrong can understandably struggle to derive self-esteem, which is key to well-being. They may come to view their sexual orientation as evil and resist it. Some attempt to change their sexual orientation, sometimes by entering into marriages of convenience, is a conceptualization of homosexuality which stems from their understanding of Islamic rulings. What the Prophet said was right, and that's always going to stand. Yeah, men having sex with other men was wrong in his eyes. He hated it. It's easy to see how belief in the negativity of homosexuality from the perspective of one's faith, which in countless studies has emerged as an important identity among British Asian Muslims, could cause some gay Muslims to develop internalized homophobia and in some cases to doubt the authenticity of their Muslim identity. Well, according to the Islamic clergy all over the world, the penalty for homosexuality is clear. And so that's the difference between a world where freedom of speech and freedom of expression exist and a world where theocracy rules. So, Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, received death threats after voting in favor of same-sex marriage. And gay Muslims may cope with this internal conflict in a number of ways, while some hope to change their sexual orientation to become straight. Others may deny that they are actually gay. Maybe I'm not bisexual because I've never been with a woman, but I can't call myself gay either. I refuse to do that because I just don't feel gay. Crucially, in making sense of the causes underlying their sexual orientation, some gay Muslims were of the view that they had become gay as a result of their social environment and consequently blamed British society. I'm gay because I was brought up here in Britain, but I reckon had I been brought up in Pakistan, then I would have turned out straight, because this doesn't happen that much there. Like, I hadn't heard of any gays in our village. There were clubs and all that, So I just kind of fell into the gay culture. Where he lives, there are clubs, and he fell into the gay club. We tend to attribute aspects of our identity that we see as undesirable to external factors. This means of protecting one's sense of self from threats. Some of the gay Muslim interviewees in my studies have identified British or Western culture as their reason for sexual orientation. Okay, before we sort of take a look at the reconciliation attempts at bridging homosexuality and Islam, I want to point out that living now in 2025, it is clear to me that left-wing adherents to politics and political causes see Islam in many ways, and sometimes it's an oppressed cause that's worth defending. In other times, they see it as a way of enriching the West, according to them, and therefore we need more Muslim representation in the world. Now, they would love it if gay Muslims spoke out. The problem is that if they speak out, they will be hunted and thrown off a building, probably. The problem at its core is that you cannot reconcile a way of life that has zero tolerance for who you sleep with in a way that is incompatible with the text. You can either be gay or you can be Muslim, all right? There's no bridge here that can exist. The proclaimed first gay imam was shot and killed in Africa, and now the LGBTQ community has, for almost 2 years now, flown the Palestine flag with their rainbow pride flag. And this has only made the Muslim world laugh at them for ever thinking that the Muslim-Palestinian cause can ever be on the same flagpole as the gay pride flag. Many individuals of religious faith struggle to accept homosexuality, given the centrality of heterosexuality to faith life, not only faith in life, but reproduction, kind of important to any community. According to most of the faith groups, Muslims are no exception. Individuals use all sorts of strategies for protecting their sense of identity, and some use these strategies. Some of these strategies have poor social and psychological outcomes. I think that that's just the nature of choosing to be closeted. You know, you're either in the closet or you're out of the closet. There's really no in-between world. There's no in-between world with being gay and following the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad was, safe to say, the furthest thing from a gay man that you could ever get. You want to praise Muhammad? Well, if you feel yourself closeted, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Don't come at me for saying that, you know. Look at the preachers on YouTube. That's all I'm going to say for today. See ya.